14 years. You've given 14 years to a company that's bleeding you dry. Calculate the cost of staying. Not in months, in sanity, in opportunities you didn't take, in the person you've stopped becoming. You already know what this is. Let's run the numbers on what loyalty actually costs you. Here's the question nobody asks: when does loyalty to a job become self-betrayal? We're told to quit toxic environments, but how you leave? That defines who holds the power. Today, I'm breaking down a real case, not theory. A 48-year-old finance professional named Stephen, 14 years at the same firm. He didn't just quit his toxic job, he executed a flawless strategic exit by controlling the one thing his boss couldn't counter: the narrative. We're looking at this through power dynamics and the financial reality of staying versus leaving. Who has leverage, who wants it, and how that leverage gets used as a weapon. Stephen sat at his desk on a Tuesday morning. The server rack hummed its low-frequency drone. 14 years, and he'd never stopped hearing that sound. It was the soundtrack to his erosion. Cynthia, his VP, stood at his cubicle. "Stephen, about the Q3 forecast, I appreciate the input, but let's stick to the proven path, shall we?" Proven path. That was her phrase for do what I say without questioning. Stephen's hand moved to his wristwatch. He adjusted the band. A tic he'd developed. Uncomfortable conversation, uncomfortable motion. He'd watched 3 colleagues leave in the past year. 2 cried during their exit interviews. 1 told Cynthia exactly what he thought of her leadership. That didn't go well. Pause. See the cost here? Stephen's been paying for 14 years. Not just in salary he could have earned elsewhere. In dignity, in agency. Cynthia isn't just managing. She's weaponizing his sunk cost against him. Proven path means your judgment doesn't matter. In psychology, that's the sunk cost fallacy. The more time you've paid in, the harder it feels to walk away, even when the deal is bad. Time invested doesn't equal value returned. That's the lie that keeps people trapped. 3 months later, Stephen got a call. A recruiter, different industry, data analytics firm. Shorter commute, better title, better money. Stephen didn't tell anyone at work. Not yet. He went home that night and did something he hadn't done in years. He opened a spreadsheet. Not for Cynthia, for himself. Column A: what staying costs me. Column B: what leaving costs me. The numbers weren't close. This is the pivot. Stephen moves from victim to strategist. He's not running on emotion. He's running the math. Every day at that firm was compounding loss. Not just money, confidence, self-respect, the belief that his expertise mattered. Run the numbers on your loyalty. Most people don't. They confuse endurance with virtue. Stephen accepted the offer. Now came the hard part. The resignation meeting. He knew Cynthia's playbook. She'd done this before. She'd ask why. She'd make him doubt. She'd offer a counter. Or she'd guilt him. After everything we've invested in you. Stephen prepared. He didn't prepare to be honest. He prepared to be strategic. The meeting was scheduled for Friday at 3 p.m. Stop right here. This is where most people lose. They walk into that meeting thinking it's a conversation. It's not. It's a negotiation over power. If Stephen says, "I'm leaving because you're a terrible leader," Cynthia has ammunition. She can gaslight. She can reframe. She can make him the problem. Stephen knows this. Watch what he does instead. Friday, 3 p.m. Stephen sat across from Cynthia. "Stephen, I was surprised by your resignation. Can you tell me what's driving this?" Stephen didn't hesitate. It's a complete industry shift. Data analytics. And the commute drops from 90 minutes to 30. The offer's firm. Cynthia blinked. "But we value you here. What would it take to?" Different industry. Different skill set. "It's not negotiable." She tried twice more. Stephen repeated the same facts. Industry. Commute. Firm offer. The meeting lasted 8 minutes. Checkmate. Stephen gave her nothing to leverage. He didn't mention her leadership. He didn't complain about the culture. He presented 2 facts: she couldn't control a different industry and geography. Strategic misdirection means giving a reason that closes the door on their favorite games instead of opening new arguments. She couldn't gaslight facts. She couldn't counteroffer against a shorter commute or a career pivot she had no part in. He neutralized her power completely. Stephen walked out of the building at 5:07 p.m. He sat in his car. The server rack hum was gone. The weight 14 years of accumulated compromise didn't vanish, it finally stopped sitting on his chest. What he felt was the clean relief of finally acting on the truth he'd known for years. 2 weeks later, he started his new role. The difference wasn't just the job, it was the reminder that he'd reclaimed control. Not by confronting Cynthia, by making her irrelevant. That moment is where his case ends and your decision begins. Stephen's story isn't about running from a bad boss. It's about regaining control of the power dynamic inside his own career. His lie, or rather, his strategic misdirection, wasn't weakness. It was the ultimate power move. He refused to give his manipulator the satisfaction of an emotional fight. He simply left. On his terms. Let's name what happened here. 2 concepts. First, strategic misdirection. Stephen controlled the narrative. He didn't lie about leaving. He lied about why. Because the truth: you're a toxic leader, would have given Cynthia leverage to manipulate, delay, or retaliate. The misdirection removed her power. Second, the dichotomy of control. The dichotomy of control is a Stoic idea: put your energy only into what you can directly choose, and treat everything else as background noise. Stephen couldn't control Cynthia's reaction. He couldn't change 14 years of toxicity, but he controlled the one thing that mattered: the information he provided. That's where his power lived, and he used it. You have two options. Option A: stay in your toxic environment. Keep hoping they'll see your value. Keep giving them more time. Cost your self-respect, compounding daily. 14 years becomes 15. 15 becomes 20. You already know how that math works. Option B: engineer your exit. Document what you need. Prepare your reasons, the ones they can't counter. Leave clean. Cost: discomfort for 2 weeks. Gain: your agency back. There's no option C. Loyalty to a system that doesn't value you isn't virtue. It's self-destruction. Calculate the cost of staying. Then compare it to the cost of leaving. The math is simple. What's yours? Your resignation meeting isn't a therapy session. It's a tactical extraction. You don't owe them your truth. You owe yourself your freedom. They chose. They chose to undervalue you, to manipulate you, to keep you small. Now you choose.